Problem number 1. Substitute the value of x in the example into the second equation, y plus 2x equals 3. What value do you get for y? Is it the same solution as in the example problem? So, in the equation y plus 2x equals 3, I know that the answer is x equals 2. So instead of x, I'm going to use the number 2. 2 times 2 gives us 4. And then I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides, and you get the answer y equals -1. So yes, the answer is the same. Problem number 2. The solution in the example is 2, -1. Explain what the graph of the system looks like. Because the answer is a point, like 2, -1, we know the lines on the graph intersect. Problem number 3. Look at the system of equations below. Describe how you can use substitution to find the solution, then find the solution. So, to use substitution, you plug in the y equals equation into the other equation. Combine like terms and solve. Now, in order to use the substitution, I'm going to pull up a blank page so that way you can follow my work. Remembering that our equations that we're looking at are y minus 3x equals 4 and y equals x minus 4. So again, our equations that problem gave us was y minus 3x equals 4 and y equals x minus 4. So we start off by taking the y equals equation and we plug it into any place that we see a y. So in this case, it's going to be x minus 4, and then minus 3x equals 4. I'm going to go ahead and combine my like terms, x and minus 3x. 1 minus 3 gives me -2. I'm going to keep combining like terms, so I'm going to add 4 to both sides. And I get -2x equals 8. And my last step is to divide by -2. My answer is x equals -4. Now, when we have these answers, you have to have both an x equals and a y equals. So I'm going to go back to my original equation, y equals x minus 4, and I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to do -4 minus 4, and I get y equals -8. My answer is -4, -8. Problem number 4. Use substitution to solve the systems of equations. So again, we're going to take our y equals equation and plug it into that first equation. So our equation becomes 1.5x plus 1 plus x equals 3. I can combine the 1.5x and the x. 1.5 plus 1 is 2.5. I'm going to keep combining like terms by subtracting 1 from both sides. I get 2.5x equals 2. And my last step is to divide by 2.5. When you do that, you get x equals 0.8. Then we plug the problem back in. So my equation is y plus x equals 3. I know x is 0.8. And so I'm going to combine my like terms. I'm going to subtract 0.8 from both sides. And I'm left with y equals 2.2. So my answer is 0.8 and 2.2. Problem number 5. The system of equations at the right shows x by itself on the left side of one equation. Solve the system by substituting for x instead of y. So this problem is different because we have an x by itself. So I'm going to take my equation and plug it into x instead of y. This is backwards than what we typically do, but you still solve it and get the same answer. So I get 0.5, and I get negative y minus 2 plus y equals 1. I'm going to distribute to both numbers in the parentheses, and I get negative 0.5 y minus 1 plus y equals 1. I can combine my like terms, negative 0.5y and 1y. Negative 0.5 plus 1 is 0.5. I'm going to continue combining like terms by adding 1 to both sides. I get 0.5y equals 2. And my last step is to divide by 0.5. I'm going to divide both sides by 0.2. And when we do that, we get y equals 4. Now, our answer is y equals 4, so we plug it back into the original equation to figure out x. So x equals negative y minus 2. So we do negative 4 minus 2, and we get x equals negative 6. So our answer is negative 6, 4. Problem number 6. Fiona wants to use substitution to solve the system of equations at the right. Explain what she needs to do first before using substitution, then solve the system of equations. So, for this problem, you have to have a y equals by itself. So, we will rewrite the equation 2x minus y equals 3. Now, to do that, I'm going to erase the problem number 5 right above that. Sorry, didn't mean to do that just yet. I want to erase just this last little bit of problem number 5 just so we have some more room. Okay? So here we go. In order to rewrite the problem, 2x minus y equals 3, we are going to get y by itself. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. That leaves me with negative y equals negative 2x plus 3. And the last step is to divide by negative 1. So my new equation becomes y equals 2x minus 3. Now, in order to solve the system, I'm going to do it on a blank sheet. So, for that last problem, our first equation that we just rewrote was y equals 2x minus 3. And the other equation was 1.5x plus 3y equals negative 18. To solve the system, we take our y equals and plug it back into the other equation. So, when we plug it back in, our equation becomes 1.5x plus 3, 2x minus 3 equals negative 18. We solve it by distributing to both parts of the parentheses, and we get 1.5x plus 6x minus 9 equals negative 18. I'm going to combine my like terms, 1.5x and 6x, and I get 7.5x minus 9 equals negative 18. Continuing to combine like terms, I'm going to add 9 to both sides. I get 7.5x equals negative 9. And the last step is to divide by 7.5. And you end up with x equals negative 1.2. I can then take that and put that back in the equation, y equals 2x minus 3. And so 2 and negative 1.2 minus 3. 2 times negative 1.2 gives us negative 2.4. Minus 3 gives us negative 5.4. Y equals negative 5.4. So our point answers are negative 1.2 and negative 5.4.